Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion, and today we're doing something a little bit different, and we are going to be talking about spring summer 2023 fashion trends. I am not someone that is very strict about trends, which I know sounds weird because I cover so many aesthetics, but for me, niche aesthetics and little fairy core, grunge core, blah 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 core, those things are sort of dress up prompts. They're acting prompts for me. It's oh, who do I want to act like today? A downtown girl. Who do I want to act like today? Cottagecore. So that's that's why I like those, because I think it's open to interpretation and creativity, whereas trends typically are a little bit more consumer driven. Not that niche aesthetics aren't consumer driven, but I'm not someone that strictly follows trends. I do like trends, and when things that I like become trendy, I'm sweet. But do I let trends dictate my life? Absolutely not. Do I pass on 90% of trends? Yes. So the first part of this video, we are going to be talking about the trends that I think are going to come around in spring summer 2023 as a fashion expert. Just kidding. And then I sourced two articles because I did my research, Vogue and Refinery 29, and they had 90% overlapping trends, and so I kind of combined those two, and we're gonna talk about those. I'm just gonna rank and talk about them, all of that jazz. Specific things that I think are coming back in spring summer of 2023. One of them are belly button rings. And maybe I'm biased because I've had a belly button ring for over a decade now. I got it when I was 14. I'm almost 27 and I love it. And I think if you're in South Florida or maybe even California, belly button rings never went out of style. But I feel if you live in other places, I get weird looks as a 27-year-old having a belly button ring sometimes, especially when you can see it through my clothes. People are you still have that? You still rocking that belly ring? But I think that with the coconut girl thing that happened last year and mermaid core and siren core happening this year, I think belly button rings are making a comeback. I think dangly ones particularly. I never liked just the plain old belly button rings. I think dangly ones are so much cuter. That's just on me. Maybe I'm biased, but I just think belly button rings are coming back. And in that same vein, I think toe rings are coming back. I love a toe ring. I had a permanent toe ring on my toe, welded onto me for a few years. I got it in the Keys. Yes, I'm Florida trash. I love toe rings. I'm someone that wears flip-flops most of the time when it's warm. And I think toe rings are so cute. I've actually have been wanting to get a toe ring tattoo on my toes just because I genuinely think toe rings are so cute. Maybe these aren't trends. These are just things that I want to come back. But I think, again, with sort of the Y2K McBling thing, I think tacky jewelry belly button rings and toe rings are going to come back this spring summer. Mark my words. And Modern Girls already touched on this, and I've already seen it come around, but dip dyed hair. I was a dip dyed hair queen back in 2012, 2014 in high school. I had my dip dye with aqua and a purpley blue together. I did purple. I did pink, I think, one time. I loved dip dyed hair. I thought it was so fun. I dip dyed my friend's hair. It was just a fun, easy, inexpensive way to do something with your hair, and then you could just cut off the bleached ends when you're done, or then you have these bleached ends at the end of your hair, which look kind of cool in an ombre way. It's such a fun summer trend just to shake up your hair that a couple little dip dyes in the ombre area. Mwah, I love it. In sort of that same vein, this is so weird and specific, but I feel fishtail braids are gonna make a comeback. Now, fishtail braids were so common back in 2012-ish, 2010 time, and that's sort of making a comeback. And I think that in the summer, a fishtail braid, especially with, again, mermaid core, siren core, fantasy aesthetics coming out this spring summer and being really popular this spring summer, I think things like toe rings, fishtail braids, belly button rings totally fit in that vibe. Another thing that I think is going to come back just because of the trend cycles and the 2010s coming back are Wayfarers and Club Masters in big sunglasses. We've been doing these tiny, chic, really pointy sunglasses for a while, and then quite avant-garde sunglasses. But I think the Audrey Hepburn, glasses, the Clubmasters and the Wayfarers from Ray-Bans, those are going to make a comeback. I mean, the chokehold that Ray-Bans had on the entire world from like 2007 to 2014 is insane. And then it sort of migrated into Clubmasters, which then migrated into like the hexagon ones that were popular in 2016, 2017. But I think Clubmasters and Ray-Bans are going to come back. And in that same vein, I think the 80s style, 80s aesthetics are going to come back. 80s were so big in the like aughts, 2010s era. Fame was really big at that time. American Apparel was very 80s focused. I was so into the 80s at this time, like in middle school and high school. I absolutely love 80s music. I love 80s fashion. I love how tacky and loud it is. 80s is one of my favorite eras. So again, this might be biased, but I do think that the 80s will come back in terms of like just style, neons, leopard prints, just like fun, over the top, a little bit tacky. I think we're gonna get tacky this summer. That's what I'm trying to say. And as Florida trash, I love it. I think LA is gonna come back in the next couple of years. Now, that sounds silly because people populate LA all the time. However, we all saw in the past 5 years the big migration back to New York. It was like New York in like 2007 to 2012, 2013 to 2017, maybe 2018, we went to LA. I mean, we all saw Brandy Melville and the LA hats, everything. And then like 2018 to 2023, we've gone back to New York. So many influencers that lived in LA moved to New York, etc. And now I think the great migration is happening back out west. But maybe due to all of like the climate crises that are happening in California, maybe I'm a little bit wrong on that, but I think the romanticization of LA, especially with Lana Del Rey coming out with a new album, which we all hope and kind of think is going to be her more trip hop Born to Die era after like A&W release. Like I definitely think she's gonna go back to that era, and I hope and pray, because I have been waiting for this since the Born to Die era. I've been waiting for Lana to do another trip hop album, because that's my favorite version of Lana, the Lizzie Grant early era. So I think with that coming out, Lana is such a California lady, and we've now been in New York for about 5 years. I think the great migration back to LA is going to be happening. And the last thing, again, this is very biased of me, but Refinery 29 and Vogue both said that big bags are coming back, and I think specifically the Mulberry Alexa bag is gonna come back. Yes, maybe I'm biased because I got a Mulberry Alexa last summer, but these were so popular on Tumblr, on Pinterest, on fashion blogs, everywhere in the like mid-aughts, so 2010s. And I think with that era coming back, especially late summer, early fall, I think the Mulberry Alexa bag is such a good like fall bag. I think those are gonna come back. So not super a spring summer trend, but more of a late summer, early fall trend. But mark my words, the Alexa is coming back, whether I will it into existence or not. Alrighty, so now we are going to get into what Vogue and Refinery 29 said about the upcoming spring-summer 2023 fashion trends. Perfectly imperfect, meaning like tie-dye, asymmetrical slits, things that are a little bit like wavy, off, again, asymmetrical, different dyes that where every piece is sort of unique. Actually, for that trend, I'm wearing a dress that I made out of old drapes. Literally, who am I? Maria Von Trapp is quaking. And I do like the idea of like perfectly imperfect clothing that's a little off, clothing that's a little asymmetrical. I think it's fun. I think it's interesting. With the era of like thrifting and secondhand, this sort of trend of being a little perfectly imperfect works. Now, okay. So in the Vogue article, they said blazers become cinched. They also said the tailored look. And then in Refinery 29, they said very big blazers. So what's the truth, Ellen? Like literally, what is the truth? Is it big blazers? Is it tailored blazers? Is it cinched blazers? Who knows? But anyway, blazers are going to be a huge thing. The Matilda Djerf effect. I mean, really, Matilda Djerf is like such, she really pioneered the whole like blazer trouser thing. I believe that's where I found it and everything. I have a Jorf Avenue suit set. I have a Jorf Avenue blazer. I love Jorf Avenue for that sort of time. And my Jorf Avenue suit set is in like a light oat color. And that is such a nice color for spring, summer, especially if you live in New England like me, where it's a little bit cold in the spring. Great, great piece. I mean, I think suit sets and trousers and blazers will never go out of style and have never gone out of style. And I don't know if it's going to be the very, very big oversized blazers like Refinery 29 says, or if it's going to be more of the cinched, tailored type blazers like Vogue says. I did see Schiaparelli have some very like structured blazers, and Dugai collection having very structured blazers. So maybe that is more of the forefront of the trend. But I think the oversized blazers, like, you can't go wrong. It's such a classic. And these are so easy to find at thrift stores. I mean, just go into the men's section. You'll be able to find blazers and trousers. So another one that I'm not so sure about. There's only 2 trends on both the Refinery 29 and Vogue that I don't actually already have in my closet. I technically don't really have this, but I have something similar, which is moto inspired jackets or like racing jackets. I feel like the NASCAR racing jackets were popular last year and moto jackets are coming back. This is very 2010s. It's never really been my thing. I did have sort of a moto jacket that was like a blue color back in the 2010s, but again, just not super my style. I have like a leather vest that is very moto inspired, so that's sort of what I'm counting as this trend. I'm not sure. I mean, you might be able to find some of these at the thrift store. I feel like very fast fashion-y. For me, I would personally pass on the moto inspired trend. I think racing jackets are a little bit cooler and you can find them easier at thrift stores with like the patches and stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of like motorcycle print or motorcycle style. Ugh, okay, so this one is such a jump scare. It's bold colored bottoms and they have a pair of red like wide leg pants. Now, back in the 2010s, red skinny jeans, burgundy skinny jeans, mustard skinny jeans. I mean, a bold colored skinny jean, you could not go wrong in the 2010s, which is why for me, not a fan of this trend. It's just, I honestly don't have any like bold printed pants or trousers. Most of my pants are in quite neutral colors. I love skirts. Skirts are my preferred bottom. So I have a lot of bright colored skirts. I don't know if that counts in this trend, if they're only talking about bright colored pants. If they are only talking about bright colored pants, it might be a pass for me. There are a pair of like red pants that I've been stalking on Vestiaire Collective that are vintage that I'm thinking of getting. I don't know about her. It's a little bit too triggering back to 2010 skinny jean era. Now, this one I can definitely get on board with because I have 3 pairs of these type of things, which is bright white footwear. I have white go-go boots. I have some white little slingback block heels, and I have white like strappy espadrilles. A white sandal, come on, a white shoe, you can't go wrong. I know a lot of people love a white sneaker. I'm not really on board with that, but like a white shoe in the summertime, hell yeah, I toot it. I think it's great. The next trend that Vogue said was sculptural statement earrings. So like in gold or silver, and that's like bended, not really beaded, not jeweled, but like maybe a pearl or like one jewel on it, but mostly just like metalwork jewelry. I literally have 3 pairs of earrings. I have these hoops that I'm wearing. No, 4. I have these hoops that I'm wearing. I have my bigger, cheaper hoops that I have. I have my butterfly earrings from Claire's, and I have a pair of pearl studs. That's about it. For me, I lose jewelry so fast if it's not physically on my body. So jewelry trends are really hard for me because I used to wear like 5 rings at all times and like 5 earrings in each ear at all times. And then I took it all off and now I only wear my necklace. I don't know. I mean, also people are saying that necklaces are out. So what's the truth? Who knows? This is probably just a trend that I like, but won't necessarily participate in because I just don't trust myself with earrings. I just lose them so fast. This next trend I think is really cute, but I wasn't expecting it, which is neoclassical, meaning taking inspiration from like Grecian, Athenian, Roman, vibes, toga, draping, like gold, white, those kind of vibes. And I think that's always beautiful and fun for the summer. Just a white, flowy, linen-y dress with some like gold detailing. I mean, you really can't go wrong. I'm thinking Serena Vanderwood's in at the white party. It's just like such a classic look for the summer that for me, I'm like, is this a trend or is this just like classic? But I do toot it. I do think it's great. The next trend they're saying is detailed denim. So denim with like studs on the pockets or embroidery or lace detailing or tie detailing or lots of buttons, just elevating a classic staple like denim to be a little bit more interesting, which I like. I like my basics to have a little edge. So even my plain jeans that I have are like a high-waisted wide leg jean just to make it a little bit different. Here they're showing a skirt with some like double lace belting vibes going on. I think that's really fun. I think it's gonna be so easy to find at the thrift store, like denim with details on it, because it was a little bit chuggy a couple years ago. So now that it's coming back, it makes sense that'll be at the thrift store. I like the detailed denim look. I have a long denim skirt that's like all buttony and I think it's so cute. Modern boho is the next trend on this list, which I'm not sure, like the term boho, so triggering. I'm just, if we're thinking like, okay, this is a callback to the 2010s, like 2010s boho was so gross and culturally appropriative and just like tacky and fast fashion-y. With this modern boho, they had this like Acne Studios like vest thing. I don't know if they're talking more like cottagecore vibes or like prairie vibes. I don't know what they're going for. I feel like a good take on modern bohemian is whimsy goth and like fairy grunge, which I have a video on that if you want to go check that out. But like I feel like the whimsy goth aesthetic is very modern boho without taking it to like an appropriative way. Again, with the image that they provided, I'm like, are you thinking like coquette cottagecore, like very like soft muted colors, or are you thinking like bohemian, very like 70s? I'm not super sure. It makes sense that boho is going to come back, especially spring summer. That's a great bohemian time like to incorporate those outfits, but I'm hoping it's less like tacky 2010s and more of like a cottagecore whimsy goth vibe, because I think that's just more fun. So the next trend that they have is tip top tops. So basically button tops that have like a wingtip or something that's very pointy or just like a really interesting collar detail. Very 2010s with Peter Pan collars being trendy back then. I actually have a top that I call my Heather Locklear top that has these like pointy detailings that I love. I think it's so like 80s Coke vibes and that's why I like it. Very leisure suit, like late 70s, early 80s. I think cool detailing on a button down really does take it to the next level, and I do prefer kind of an exaggerated pointed tip to a Peter Pan collar. So I definitely toot this look. This next one sort of does go in with the Grecian look, the neoclassical trend, which is draped dressing. So anything that has like a draped detailing, we've been seeing this popular in like clothing brands like House of CB with like ruche and draped detailing. I have a skirt that's very like drapey like that. I mean, very fun, very classic for summer. I mean, I guess it's a trend. I feel like it's been a trend for a while. Like I feel like it's nothing really new, but it is very romantic and again feeds into sort of the neoclassical trend that's going on. Okay, so this one has been a trend. Like I feel like for the past 5 years, I keep saying it. Sheer layering. Yes, this has been so popular, wearing sheer clothing for the past few years. I mean, I do like it. I have some sheer clothing, like some tops and stuff. My problem is that I don't wear bras or bralettes. Like I have one bralette and that's it. So for me, I'm like, okay, am I doing like full nips out, or am I just like wearing a bralette, feeling uncomfy, or passing on the sheer trend? So I'm not sure if it's for me, just because it would require me to wear a bra, and anything that requires me to wear a bra, I'm just gonna boot, because I can't be asked, love. I can't be bothered. This next one, again, I feel like I guess it wasn't a solidified trend, now they're really saying it, but it's floor length skirts and dresses. And one thing about me, my summer uniform, my warm weather uniform, tiny top, long maxi skirt. You cannot go wrong. And some little sandies, you can't go wrong. I absolutely love maxi skirts. I have 6 or 7 maxi skirts because that's all I wear in the spring and summer. That's the only thing I wear. Every single one of my outfits in the spring and summer is some combination of a long skirt and a tiny top, sometimes even a short skirt, but I absolutely toot the floor length trend. I think it's so fun. And also when you wear like a maxi skirt, it sort of creates a wind tunnel when it's really hot out. So you actually stay cooler because it's covering your legs from getting burnt and it's creating a wind tunnel. So fun fact. Now this is one of the 2 trends on this entire list that I genuinely don't have anything remotely like it. Ruby slippers or like a statement red shoe. The closest thing I have are these Adidas with some red detailing, but I genuinely do not have bright red shoes. And I do think it's fun. I think it's a little bit chooky to have like a pop of red in your shoe. Like I think it can look a little bit 2010s, but maybe it's just because I'm traumatized by that era. But you know, a pop of a red shoe, especially if you're wearing a lot of white or something, or even with denim, can look really, really cute. I'm not sure if it's for me, but I do think it's cute. I think a pop of red is cute. I'm all for a pop of color. Like I mentioned with the Mulberry Alexa bag, the bigger the better is the new bag trend, which makes sense. We had micro bags and now we're going back to big bags. I love a tote personally, very sustainable. My Mulberry Alexa carries so much. I love a backpack purse. I'm just like not the person to do like a Louis Vuitton Speedy or like one of those giant designer bags. Like if I'm gonna do a giant bag, it's probably gonna be more of a tote situation. Whereas like a Mulberry Alexa, like it fits a lot. It is a big bag, but it's like a medium big bag. Whereas like they're really talking about like giant like designer totes and stuff. That's just not my vibe. Now this is the second thing on this entire list that I genuinely do not have anything in my closet, which is pinstripes. And I would like to thrift like a pinstripe blazer or a pinstripe vest like they show here. I do think it's cute. I think it's very mob boss. It does remind me of my dad. My dad has a pinstripe suit. And so it reminds me of him. But I think pinstripe is it's very 80s, very mob boss, very 80s Coke vibe. Did I say that the 80s were to come back? Just saying. Tip tops, pinstripes, seems very 80s to me, just saying. Yeah, I toot this look. I think it's very cute. I think it'd be really cute for fall and winter. I think it's a trans-seasonal trend. I just simply do not have one of those things in my closet at this moment. This one I'm like so bored with because it's been on the trends list for like 5 years. Basically wearing underwear on the outside. I have this corset that I'm wearing right now over my dress. They have this like lace bustier top from Dolce & Gabbana. Yeah, like underwear as outerwear has been a trend for like 4 or 5 years now. And I do think it's cute. Again, I love a tiny top, and a lot of times my tiny tops are just like bras, or I love a corset. Like I love that kind of vibe. When it comes to like bustiers and stuff, again, because it has the underwiring of a bra, I'm just not into it. Can't have any of that. But I wear nightgowns out in public quite often. I wear corsets out in public quite often. So I like it. I get the sentiment. Maybe not, like I'm not one to wear like a bustier top, but that's just because like I don't like my boobs to feel that way. But I agree with it. I just think it's boring to continue to be like, underwear is outerwear. Really, bitch? Yeah, it's been the same trend for 5 years. Like this isn't new. Another thing that they said, which is like so traumatizing, fancy flats, aka ballet flats. Ballet flats became big like last year, especially like I feel like this past like autumn winter with like the Miu Miu ballet flats. I get it. I have big feet. I wear a size 9.5. So like I'm not the biggest fan of wearing flats just because I feel like it really makes my feet look longer. Actually, this is a trend that I genuinely didn't have either. This is another one. I generally do not have a pair of fancy flats. I have flip-flops and I have sneakers, but everything else has at least like a 2-inch heel. I love a heel. Even though I'm 5'8", I love a heel. I want just a little bit heightened. So I'm gonna boot the fancy flats. Tack City for me. I think it's tacky. Reminds me of middle school when everyone had Tory Burch flats, and I was like, man, I should get some Tory Burch flats. And then I found out they were $300, and I was going to a Gossip Girl-esque middle school, and I was like, holy shit, everybody here has private jets. So I'm not a ballet flat person. Also, your feet gonna stank. We're gonna have stinky foot bitches this summer if everyone's wearing ballet flats. Not for me, babes. Not for me. Sorry about it. I'm watching a lot of Love Island. I apologize. Oof. Speaking of a trend that is not for me, drop waist. Talk about, I'm pear-shaped, meaning small boobs, big butt, and hips. There's nothing more unflattering on a pear-shaped person than a drop waist. Drop waist is for people who are like straight up and down or have big boobs. I mean, that's not true. Wear whatever you want. You can wear whatever you want. Everything looks good on everybody. Wear whatever you want. Duh, of course. If you like drop waist, do it. I do not think this is a flattering shape on my body. I have a similar, I don't know if I would call it a drop waist, but it's a bathing suit cover up that's very 2010s, deep V, like tight at the hips. And I love the material. I love the color. And I did thrift it, but I'm not sure about her. I didn't really wear it that much last year because I just don't like that particular cut where it's like so loose around my chest area and so tight around my hips. Drop waist is a little different, where it's like just the waistline, the way where it flares will be below your hips or around your hips. I'm not a drop waist person. I really feel like it's not a flattering look on me, so I'm gonna boot this, but more power to you if you do like drop waist. Another thing Refinery 29 said is shades of purple, which I guess I do like. I'm more of a pink girl, but I do have a couple of purpley items. I like wine burgundy colors, again, a little bit more than like a classic purple. This one kind of threw me off guard that like purple was gonna be in for spring summer. I don't know, I think purple is just kind of a weird color. I don't know. I like a lavender, like a light purple, like a pastel purple. I'm not sure about like a deep purple. I'm saying this as I have this like lavender coat. Like, I don't know about purple. I love a light lavender. Just, they're showing like an eggplant here, and I'm not sure about her. So I'm kind of apathetic on this one. Next thing they said, which I definitely can get on board with, which is so much silver. I basically exclusively wear silver jewelry. I just find it much more flattering on me. I have this like disco ball silver purse. I have this disco ball as silver top. I really do like silver and wearing silver, so I definitely toot this trend. Does it feel very late 70s, early 80s to me? Yes. Was silver and metallic holographic super popular back then and in the 2010s with the 80s resurgence? Yes. Am I a trend forecaster? I'll leave that up to you. I mean, this one I might boot. It's all things utilitarian. So like a jumpsuit, overalls, Carhartts, cargo pants, utilitarian jackets, those kind of things. It's not my vibe, babes. I'm just a bit more girly than that. Yeah, I don't know. I personally probably wouldn't wear like a jumpsuit. I have one pair of overalls. I don't really think they look good on me. Well, actually I have two. I have one pair of denim overalls and one pair of like kind of cottagecore linen-y overalls. I don't know if that would count as like utilitarian. Not for me. Not for me, babes. And the last trend I have on here is similar to the motorcycle jacket trend, which is leather on leather. So wearing a leather jacket with leather pants. I don't own leather pants. I am a heavy sweater. So I'm probably not going to own leather pants because you would have to literally get Vaseline to get me out of that. But leather on leather, like a leather pants, leather jacket, like a leather suit, I think is really, really cool. It would be cool to thrift these things. I just think it'd be a little bit expensive to try to thrift these things, like especially leather pants. I am looking for like a leather blazer. I would love a leather blazer, specifically in black, or specifically in a brown over a black, but I'll take either one. So I'm neutral to tooting leather on leather. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it was a little bit different, just like talking through spring summer trends, but I hope you enjoyed. Which trend that I discussed is your favorite and which is your least favorite? Like, they are not excited to come back? Or if you think I missed a trend, comment down below a trend that you think is going to come back in spring summer 2023, and subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. Also follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I post content every single day. And with that, have a happy day. Bye.